Coming up next, how ADHD can be a superpower at work. And then, have we entered the age of the career jumpers? I'll answer that question. And of course, your calls. It starts right now. All right, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. I'm coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville. And you have joined a conversation about you, specifically your purpose. And we're going to look at your purpose at work. I believe there's really two areas of purpose in our life, relational and professional, where we were actually created for unique roles. We're going to look at that professional purpose this way. Most people look at work as something you do to live. In other words, you get a paycheck and that helps you live. Pays for the basics, the requirements, and then hopefully we make enough for some extras, for memories, and for fun. But that's not how we should be looking at work. But most people in the world do. I want you to start looking at work as something that you were created to do. You were destined to work. You were created to contribute. If I change out work, because you've got this yucky feeling about work, a lot of you do, and I say created to contribute, now you go, okay, you got my attention, Ken. Good. Because you were created to contribute. There is a unique role that you are supposed to fill relationally and professionally, and we're going to look at the professional. That means that you are needed and you must do it. You were created to fill a unique role. You are needed, you must do it. And so we're going to help you figure out what that is, or we're going to figure out how to get there, depending on where you are. There's 7 stages. That is a very clear path to move from paycheck to purpose. Get clear is stage 1. Get qualified is stage 2. Get connected is stage 3. Get started is stage 4, because the connections lead to opportunities. Then as you're in, you started, now you're looking to move into stage 5, which is get promoted. Most of us will spend the majority of our time in that get promoted until eventually we step into stage 6, get the dream job. What do you do when you're there? Are you done? No. Now the view changes. We expand the dream, expand the vision, expand the impact, and now we're working to give ourselves away because we've got the money and we've got the notoriety and all the things that come with being in the dream job. But it's about leaving a legacy. So that's a quick view of what we do, why we do it. And it is a free phone call for you to jump in. 844-747-2577. Some of you are in a very toxic situation, maybe even desperate work and financial situation. But you're embarrassed or you don't want to give certain details away, and I get it. So guess what? We'll change your name and we'll change your location. Amanda will do all of that for you so nobody knows who you are, and you can get the help that maybe you need today, the breakthrough. So no matter what it is, maybe some of you are in the cave. You're watching this because you still have a faint dream, but because of something you've done or something that somebody's done to you, you have shame holding on, draped over your shoulders like a blanket. I'm here to help you as well. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. All right. I make jokes a lot on the show about the fact that I have ADHD, and I have a mild case of it. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I don't need medication. Some do. I do not. And I'm not here to take on ADHD and medication today. That's something I talked to Madison about. I am going to address that soon because I think that this is affecting our kids and our kids realizing who they uniquely are, and you parents being able to identify who they are. But let's talk about ADHD for adults in the workplace. So some of you have it, more severe than others, and you feel like it's holding you back, or you're a little bit nervous about it, or you haven't figured out how to manage it yet because you dealt with it as a kid and now you deal with it as an adult. But I want to set some of you free, and maybe even parents who are going, I know my kid's got it. They're on medication, or maybe they're not on medication, or whatever the situation is. I want to talk about ADHD as a superpower at work. Now, there's one amazing superpower that I'm going to get to. But I want to show you how there's all these positives to ADHD that can help you in the workplace. And if you're a person who struggles with this, I want you to begin to acknowledge this and say, wait a second. When Ken talks about the sweet spot, there's some of this going on here. As a person who struggles with ADHD, I may be in a job where I am dealing with a lot of stuff that accentuates my weaknesses that come with ADHD because there are struggles. No question about it. So what I'm about to go through in no way alleviates the struggles. However, this can really help you by accentuating the positives and being aware of the negatives. All right, here's some just easy, simple to understand ways that ADHD can be a superpower at work. Number one, problem solving. ADHD, listen, you got a million ideas running through your mind. You've got about 7 to 10 times the amount of ideas and solutions that are moving through your head as somebody who doesn't have ADHD. And as a result, there are places, there are roles, there are times when ADHD becomes an amazing problem-solving tool. You can run through the possibilities way faster than everybody else, see things from different angles. Related to the problem-solving is imagination. Super creative types. They see things that others don't see, not as it relates to problem-solving, but a desired future or possibilities. The imagination speaks to the problem-solving, but also to the creativity, creating things that don't exist. Humor. People with ADHD, again, their brain is moving at super speed. They see things that others don't see, and as a result, they can say things that others don't say, and it makes them really, really funny. How about perseverance? People that are dealing with ADHD, life is tougher. It just is. It's a lot harder for them. As a result, they cope, and they develop a thicker skin. They develop a lot more determination and a lot more perseverance. That's a great character quality. How about observation? Oh, the person with ADHD, their head's on a swivel. It's like moving around like a lighthouse light on steroids. And they're seeing everything, and they are super observant. That lends itself to all kinds of positives in the workplace. And then how about compassion? A lot of people with ADHD favor the underdog. There's some compassion there because they've been the underdog. They've struggled in school. They have to deal with daily difficulties, things that you remember to do or things that you never misplace. It's a constant struggle for them. As a result, as I talked about that struggle earlier that's developed perseverance in them, it also develops compassion in them. So if you are a person who you've been diagnosed, or it's pretty darn obvious that you struggle with attention span and you struggle with follow through and all those things, it's easy to beat yourself up over this. I don't want you to beat yourself up. I want you to be aware, and you already are aware of all those things. That's what's causing you to beat yourself up. But instead of being somebody who's beating yourself up, go, okay, no more beating myself up, because there is a flip side. It's like a coin. All those negatives and challenges that are very real. Believe me, I know. I'm the guy that deals with a lot of that stuff. I could beat myself up too, but I've learned to go, you know what? There's a flip side to that. And for all the negatives to my ADHD, there are so many positives, and I'm going to focus on that as it relates to my work. And I'm going to make my coworkers, my family, my friends aware of those weaknesses. Awareness is beautiful. Awareness brings terrific confidence because you go, hey, I've told everybody I'm a disaster, and they kind of already knew anyway. The person with ADHD is not breaking news to anybody in their life when they tell them that they're a disaster in this area, this area. It's not breaking news. Everybody knows. So when we acknowledge it, they go, oh, the elephant's out of the room. There's no tension here. And then the next step is beyond awareness is to go, okay, I'm going to prepare for these things. I'm going to put people in my life. I'm going to put processes in my life. I'm going to put some disciplines in my life that will help me manage those weaknesses. And then I focus all of my ADHD as a true superpower. And I focus. And that, all those little things I listed out, all of those things, those are great. But the real superpower is hyper-focus. See, the ADHD person, when not truly aligned and not truly where they need to be in their sweet spot, is going to have a lot of these struggles that we know about. But a person who has ADHD, who's in their sweet spot, who is using what they do best to do work they love, to produce results that matter to them, hyper-focus. I mean hyper-focus. The same person who can't remember where their keys are, where they left their wallet, can be an absolute superhero with superpowers with unbelievable high performance because of the focus. So I'm just going to tease this. Parents, instead of fretting over your kids' ADHD, you find the thing that makes their heart sing. And when you find that, you watch how their performance changes. Now, you still do all the other mitigations and things that you got to do with the school and with the doctors. But I'm telling you, ADHD is a superpower, and we need to start embracing that. 844-747-2577 is the phone number to jump in. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Anna, who joins us in Los Angeles, California. Anna, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi. Good
Hi,
morning.
Anna. How are you? You sound like you are bright and ready to go. You're ready to conquer the world. What's going on?
I'm actually really excited to be on here with you.
Good. What's up?
So my question is, how can I stay motivated at a transitional job when obviously I know that I won't be there for a long time? So I'm thinking maybe 6 months to a year. Should I start applying to jobs right now?
Well, we got two questions. How do I stay motivated, and should I start applying for jobs now? So let me answer that second question first. Why would you not apply for jobs now if you know that this is temporary? Explain to me that. You know you're only going to be at this current job for 6 to 12 months, but then you said, well, should I start applying for jobs now? So I guess I'd ask, why wouldn't you start applying now? Oh, we lost her. Well, that explains that. We lost Anna. I don't know if the team is aware of that. Now you are. She's gone. I was asking her a question, and she's gone, so we'll go to Emily. We'll see if we can get her back. Emily is joining us in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Emily, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
It's a pleasure to be speaking to you. Well, I've been listening to your show for a while, and my husband has been pretty unhappy in his career for like the last 10 years, but he was always very reluctant to leave, and hashtag COVID happened. In October of last year, he was laid off, just due to he worked in the petroleum industry in quality control inspecting. And it was like devastating. And we picked ourselves up and we started job hunting and everything. And then in January, he found a new job and a completely new career doing home installation for an internet company. And it's just not his sweet spot. But I feel like the shock of getting laid off from a job he didn't really love to begin with is like kind of put him in, like paralyzed him to make another decision. And I'm like, listen, I don't want to see you miserable for like another 10 years. So like you already proved that you can be retrained. You've already proved that you can be in a new industry. So like take that as confidence to do the next thing. But I just feel like I can't say anything enough to like encouraging enough to like help him move to the next thing. And it's so hard to see him every morning kind of like miserable.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you called. This is hard. This is really hard because you're in that spouse role where you love him. You care about his emotional health, his mental health. And he hears it, but he's not doing anything with it. And you've got to be careful because at some point, if he doesn't act on this, he starts to drown you out, correct?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's already happened. What do you think? You think that's already happened? Or is he still kind of engaging with you and he's agreeing with you? When you talk to him about this, how's he reacting?
I do think I think he can see that it would be beneficial to move. But every time he goes or mentally goes to move, like, well, what would be my next step? I feel like the questions of what if and I don't know how to just overwhelm him. So like when he talks to me, I feel like he gets like pumped up because I'm like pumped for him and I know what I like to do. So for me, I can just visualize him in a job that he loves. Yeah. But I just don't think he can visualize it for himself unless he's with me. And I'm like, how do I help him light the fire for himself?
Okay, so here's the tactic. Okay, the way to do this is he's getting fired up and confident when he's with you, but then when he walks away, he's left with the thoughts of, well, what would I do? Because I've never done anything that I've loved, pretty much is what it sounds like. And how would I get there? And then how long would that take? And how much would it cost? And oh my gosh, I got all of these unknowns.
Yes, everything.
Yeah. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
You are describing to him a faraway mountain that he can't even quite see very clearly. It's so far away and there's so much fog and giant clouds covering the top of the mountain. He knows the mountain's out there, but he has no idea where to start. That's how intimidating this is. You've nailed it. You're really on it. So here's what you have to do. You're going to have to get him in conversations that are way more detailed and far less pressure. So instead of, hey, you're miserable. I don't want to see you miserable. Why would you do that? Go get a new job. I believe in you. I love you, babe. Right? That's what you're doing. And it's great.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. A couple more of those conversations and nothing happening. He's going to then begin to resent you or drown you out and go, well, she doesn't get it. So what we've got to do now is he's got to have real clear ideas. I think the problem is he's not sure what mountain to climb. If he knew what mountain to climb, and then he went, oh, that's the mountain to climb. How does one go about climbing that mountain? Well, I need a guide. I'm going to have to work out for 6 months to get in shape to be able to handle the climb. I need this equipment. And I know that it's going to take this much money for all the equipment, this much for the guide, and it's going to take this much time for all of that to come together. That's what he's missing. Because, see, the mountain can still be scary, but it's not overwhelmingly intimidating because I know that I can get up the mountain and I know how I'm going to get up the mountain. Make sense?
Yeah.
He doesn't know what mountain, or if he has an idea on the mountain, it's not been confirmed enough for him to go, oh, that's the mountain. So short of him calling me, which is really what I want you to do, I want you to talk to him and go, hey, will you call Ken? Will you call him and trust me on this, and you can change your name? We can change the location so nobody knows it's you, and walk through this with him. But here's what I would do. Absent him calling me, you got to walk him through the talent, passion, mission. I'd get the career clarity guide and I'd start there. And I'd say, hey, can we sit down and do this together? Let's look at what you do really, really well. And so this is all positive. It's all about making him feel like a rock star because he is a rock star. What do you do best?
100%.
What are your top talents? What kind of work do you really love to do? I think you fill it out too and go, hey, you fill it out on your own. Let's fill it out separately. And then let's come together and look at our answers. Like, make it fun. Okay?
Yeah.
And then go, what results really matter to you? Because you've been listening to my show. He's probably never listened to me. So let's walk through this for a second. Let's have a little bit of extra time. We're going to do a speed round. You ready?
Okay.
All right. What if you had the career clarity guide in front of you and it was you and me and him at the kitchen table in your house? And I said, what's his name, by the way?
Jesse.
Jesse, you're not allowed to talk. We're gonna let your wife Emily brag on you. And I'd say, Emily, what are his top talents? Hard skills, soft skills. What would you say?
He's diligent, he's detail-oriented, and he's consistent and reliable.
Okay, those are great qualities. I want a little bit more skill. So, for instance, those are good soft skills. So the fact that he's diligent and the fact that he's reliable, those are amazing character qualities. So I would definitely call that talent. It would be like a soft talent, if you will, a character quality. But beyond being detailed, give me a little bit more detail of where he's really, really talented, some skills that he has.
Well, he's kind of an introvert, so it's hard for me to nail that one down, but he loves detailed things. Like, he loves wiring, he loves electronics, he understands electrical current, and he understands computer systems. Is that more of a hard skill?
Yeah, it absolutely is. He's very technical in nature, right? He's detailed, but he's also a good problem solver from a technical standpoint. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
So technical. He's got technical skills. That's a skill.
Yeah.
But he also can he fix things? Or is that what do you mean when you say wiring? Like, he can look at a problem and go, this is where the problem is, and then he can fix it as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he's really good at the technical troubleshooting. Would you say that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You see where you start to fill this out and you go, hey, I think these are your top talents. He's very detailed and organized. Is he also very gifted at analyzing things?
Yes.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So if I'm looking at the stuff, I'm building this assessment right now, I'd say he's got the talent of organization and logic because of the way he thinks. I'd also say he's got the talent of inspection. He can kind of look things over and go see where things are wrong, true or false.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's also got the talent of execution. He can actually follow through and fix it. So execution, inspection, organization, and logic. Now, the type of work he loves to do and under passion is we already know. We already know he likes the finishing, right? The finishing, which is kind of that's execution, solving, probably some planning and analyzing. That's the kind of work he really loves. True or false?
Yes, true.
I mean, this is totally making sense to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So now we look at what are the results that make him really excited. So we know the kind of what he's talented at. We know the kind of work he loves to do. So what's that driving result that makes him go, this was a good day? I contributed this result to the world. I would guess it's efficiency and solutions. Order and excellence.
Yeah.
Order and excellence. He's driven by efficiency. If he's contributing to efficiency, he's a happy man. If he's also creating solutions with problems and systems, something like that, because of that organizational nature, he wants things to work well. I think that's his purpose statement. So he's supposed to use his talents of logic and inspection and organization and execution to do the work of analyzing, finishing, solving, to create efficiency and solution. Now that's a high-level purpose statement. But what comes out of that is he goes, oh, this is now the filter for any job description. When I read a job description, it needs to make sense within that purpose statement. If you could sit down and do that with him, and he sees it and he goes, oh, so now he's not going to struggle finding stuff that would make him come alive. So because we just compare job descriptions. He's going to be in a technical, electrical kind of that world, right?
Yeah.
But something's missing with the installing the internet stuff. There's something missing. He wants more of a challenge. So once he figures that out, we go, oh, we know the what. And now we go, how do I get qualified for that? He's probably largely qualified, but there might be some certifications here and there. I don't think there's a college degree involved. Now he goes, oh, it's not that hard to get qualified. It's not that expensive. You see how we take the intimidation factor away?
Yeah, because it's like just walking through with steps rather than like leaps or like trying to look at the destination from the beginning.
Now, remind me his name.
Jesse.
Okay, Jesse. Jesse, look at me. You just listened to me and your wife unveil about you what I think you already know, but I think you needed this confidence shot. And the reason I'm talking to you, Jesse, is because Emily is live right now, but she's going to show this to you tonight when you get home from work because you're the second caller on the show, and she can rewatch. She can go right to it and watch it on YouTube. And we just counseled you while you were working hard, and your wife loves you, and your wife believes in you. And Jesse, you can actually get there. And Jesse, you can fix some of the things that maybe Emily and I didn't get right. You can even call me yourself if you'd like. But I think you got enough right now. And go back and watch it a second time. Take some notes. Pause. Because, Jesse, you're afraid. And I get it. Jesse, you're doubting yourself. And I get it. You know why I get it, Jesse? Because I've been there before. I've been afraid that I didn't know how and I didn't know where to go in media and broadcasting because I started at the age of 33, Jesse, and I didn't have a degree in it. And I had 3 kids and a mortgage. And Jesse, I doubted that I had enough time to pull it off. I thought maybe I was too old. Thought maybe at times I didn't have the skill set to do it. But here I sit, Jesse, talking to you. Jesse, you can do this. Emily and I believe in you. So we just walked through a very simple process that creates a purpose statement for you, a professional purpose statement. So all you got to do is refine it, start to look for job descriptions that match this. And my friend, before you know it, you're going to be in your sweet spot. And for the first time in your life, using what you do best to do work you love, to produce results that matter deeply to you. And oh, by the way, providing very well for Emily and your family. So Jesse, I believe in you. All right, Emily, our work is done.
Thank you so much.
So you know what you got to do, right?
Yes, sir. I got to do some homework.
No, you just simply have to actually let him watch this phone call. That's what's beautiful about YouTube. We're live right now. Joe, it'll be posted right after the show, and you can go right to this point in the show and make him watch the call where we talk about him and where I talk to him. That's a game changer. There you go. I love it. All right, let's go to Anna real quick. We were talking to Anna. She got disconnected, so we're going to go back to her in Los Angeles. Anna, you're back on the Ken Coleman Show. What'd you do? Did you hang up on me?
Hi, good morning. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what just happened.
Oh, I'm kidding. I know you didn't hang up on me. Okay, so let me refresh everybody real quick on where we were, okay? So you are in a job right now where you don't think you're going to be for more than 6 to 12 months. And so you had a question about that. How do you stay motivated in a short-term gig? And I'm going to answer that. But then you said, should I start applying for jobs now? And that's when I said, well, I want to know why you would not do that now. Or is there a reason why you feel like you got to stay in this job for 6 to 12 months? So I want to know your reasoning there, and then I'll dive in.
All right. So it is my first time with this type of position and an office position. I never had one before, so everything's thoroughly new for me.
Okay.
So I was just wondering, should I start applying to positions with limited experience with very similar job?
So it would be a very similar job.
Yes, but it's in a different industry.
Okay. So so when you started the call, you said you're only going to be in this job for 6 to 12 months. Tell me why. What's
Correct.
the next step on the ladder?
So I was hoping to go back to my first love, and that's what I graduated with, and it's film, but I just don't have that much experience with office work. So this was the perfect transition.
So you want to do office work in the film industry?
Yes, so then I can get connected, and then I can start moving up into something that I was
Yes,
really
Anna is working the proximity principle. I like it. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So is there a culture thing going on? Is this kind of a crappy environment? Is that why you're wondering, hey, should I? Because you're going to get the office experience if you just hang out for 6 to 12 months. But you're kind of going, should I go somewhere else? Are you just kind of itchy?
It's part cultural experience, but also my anxiety's been kicking in when it comes to my performance.
Why? Well, let's talk about that. Why? What's causing the anxiety? Do you feel like you're not doing a good job, or you got a tough boss? What's going on?
It was just high expectations was affronted with me in the first month.
Okay. Do you think you can meet those expectations?
Yes, I'm trying right now. It's only been month 4 or so, but I'm doing my best. But I also feel like that every move I make that could be a good thing, I get 2 steps back.
Why? What's happening with the 2 steps back?
Just fear of doubt and a fear if I'm doing it correctly.
Well, somebody telling you that you're not doing it correctly?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. And is this basic administrative work?
Yes.
Is there anybody else in the office that is in a similar position as you that you've struck a friendship with?
Unfortunately, I only have one person that I can talk about this with, and she's also kind of I took her place, but also just the way that she interacts with me. I just have to be careful how I interact with her because she's also stressed out with her new position.
Okay, but here's what I'm getting at. I'm asking if she can, if every once in a while you can go, hey, can we do lunch together? And you go, hey, I've struggled with this part of the job. Can you give me some tips on how to do it better? I just think that what would help you is reaching out, and it could be somebody else in a different company, but somebody else that you know that's more of an administrative assistant or somebody like that, and just say, hey, these are a couple of areas where I'm only 3 to 4 months in, but I seem to be, struggling here. Help me out here. Because it might be a situation where you are operating in your weaknesses, not your strengths. And you may have to just go, this is kind of a thing where I'm doing what I have to do so that I can do what I want to do. And so you get advice and you buckle down and you hang in there for 6 months, 12 months. That's one option. But I also don't have a problem with you applying for administrative positions in the film industry. And if people go, well, why are you leaving your current job? Go, because I know that this is a way that I can get in. And so I wanted to get in an office environment, and I'm ready now to jump in and do this kind of work in the film industry because that's eventually where I want to be. So all that to say, I have no problem with you starting to apply. Just because you've only been doing it 3 or 4 months, the only red flag that would possibly create for you in the film industry is going, why are you leaving another job? And you go, because I want to be in the film industry and I wanted to get several months experience, doing this kind of office work. And now I know I can do it and I'm here to get in. So it's not running anybody else under the bus. It doesn't make you look flaky. It makes you look ambitious. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal, kiddo. You can't beat yourself up. Because at the end of the day, my guess is you're doing work that you're kind of not really that strong at. Am I right or wrong?
No, I've done similar tasks like this in my previous position. I was very good at it. But I think what's bogging me down is just new applications and just the new way of thinking.
Okay,
That's it.
Then buckle down. Now that I know that you've got administrative gifting, I didn't realize that because I automatically assumed, and that can get you in trouble. So I assumed live on the show that, you're more a creative type. And I think you probably are. Is that right?
Yes, I am.
But you also have really strong administrative and organizational skills, correct?
Yes.
Okay, then believe in yourself. You know why?
Okay.
Because if you don't believe in yourself and you get down on yourself, it's gonna delay this whole process. We want to get you in the film industry. So you winning in this current job is crucial for you to then be able to say, hey, I did this really well. I got the experience I need, and now I can come over here. So you need to buckle down, ask that gal for help, or ask that person for help that you replaced. Ask them. And just say, hey, I know you're stressed out, but hey, at lunch, you got to do lunch. Let's go to lunch. I'll buy your lunch. I'm struggling with this application. Give me 2 or 3 tips here. I think that's the difference maker. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You got this. Do you believe that?
A little bit, yes and no. But yeah, I think eventually, I just have to put motivation in myself to start doing.
Yeah, but here's the deal. You know what? I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't answer your main question. Do you know how you get motivation? You got to think about the big picture. Your motive is your why. So the only way to have motivation to show up at a day job that is temporary is to realize that this day job is preparing me for the next step. This day job is providing for me now. It is preparing me and it is providing for me. That's all the motivation you should need. Because if you fail at this, because you lose motivation and you drift off, guess what, Anna? You're starting all over again. So this is preparing you for the office job in the film industry that then gets you in the building, in the industry. Now you're playing behind the gates, and it also is providing for you now. That's your motivation. Do you understand?
Yep, got it.
You got this, Anna. You better start thinking about the future when you start struggling in the present. That's the key, by the way, folks. That's the key. You're struggling in the present. Let me tell you the best way to get through the struggle in the present is to envision the future. Why am I doing this right now? You better get real clear on your why fast. Because here's the thing. When somebody goes, why am I doing this right now? And they don't have a vision for the future, guess what they do? They go, I don't know, I'm leaving. Wait a second. Motivation is all about motive, and it's all about your why. So you better have a really clear vision of your why, because that'll get you through the struggle. It'll get you through the struggle. I'll never forget. I'll tell a personal story real quick on this. My father was a pastor growing up, so he never made a lot of money. Totally committed to the ministry. I'll never forget, we moved to Virginia when I was 12 years of age, and you're starting a church from scratch, which means there's no offerings, and he had very little support, and he had to work another job to feed me and my brother and my mom. That dude went out and worked on a construction crew in the Virginia heat, slinging a hammer, sweating till there's no more liquid in your body, hard manual labor. What keeps my dad doing that? What keeps him motivated to do a construction job when he's called to preach? I'll tell you what his motive was. Paying the bills, feeding his family. Do you think my dad struggled during that? You bet you he did. He only had to do it for about 6 months until the church began to grow and the support came in. But for 6 months, what keeps my dad doing that? What's his motivation? It's his why. And he's got my mom's face in his mind. He's got my face and my brother's face. He's out there, he's providing. So let's not make motivation this secret elixir that some speaker shares with you at some event or in some book. No, it's your why. And you need to know what that is. Speaking of your why, some of you are going, why am I not getting the job? Why am I not fired up? Well, because the job search, which many of you are in, we got a lot of switchers going on, more on that in a few minutes. It's hard. The job search is hard. It's yucky. It's full of rejection and insecurity and all this stuff. So that's why I partner with my friends at ZipRecruiter. They're the #1 job site in the world, and there's a reason. They've got a great system and technology to make the system really work for you. Here's how it happens. You go to ZipRecruiter.com right now. You go, Ken, why would I go? Because you need recruiters working on your behalf as well. You can use all of my systems, the proximity principle, all things. Why wouldn't you have the #1 job site in the world who have companies paying to be a part of their site to look for you? You don't pay anything. It's free. You go to ZipRecruiter.com, fill out your profile, one click, get it all set up. Guess what happens? They start recruiting and pitching you to companies that have signed up with them. Company sees you, they go, oh, that looks good. They contact you directly. Simple. Just like that. ZipRecruiter truly is a recruiter for you. ZipRecruiter.com. Their candidates are 3 times as likely to get hired because ZipRecruiter has vetted you and put you directly in touch with people who want you. So that's why I've partnered with them. I believe in them. Their system works. ZipRecruiter.com. Go, go, go. All right. Quick break. When we come back, have we reached the new age of job hopping? I think so. We'll explain that and what that means for you coming up next. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. Today is Tuesday, and I forgot to tease this at the top of the program. I don't know how I forgot because the team is suspiciously gleeful about this coming up. In a few minutes, we'll wrap the show with Tuesday Juice Day, where I sample an unknown juice or beverage that is designed to give you energy. Because we talk about having the juice on this show. The way you have the juice is do work you love that produces results that matter to you. So we came up with this thing. I have a glass right here or a paper cup. Nathan, the director, is in charge of today's juice. I do not know what it is. I will taste it, and I will review it, and then find out what it is live on the air in just a few minutes. But first, it's time for In the News. All right, headline from Axios. More than half of American workers say they want jobs in new industries. This is a pretty unbelievable stat. 53% of Americans say they would switch to a role in an entirely new industry if they had the opportunity to retrain. So this is fascinating. So here's what's interesting about this. They do have the opportunity to retrain, but this speaks to the gripping fear of the unknown that we talked about earlier with Emily about her husband, about changing industries. And folks, I want to let everybody off the hook. There's no shame in your game. I don't want to judge you. Changing industries and all that comes with that is terrifying. There's just so many unknowns. And here we have 53% of Americans go, I'd change industries. Totally. Switch total gears if I knew I could be retrained. Well, you can. Fascinating. Now, we've been talking about this. I said this was going to happen in the fall of 2020. I've been talking about it early this year. We said that this was going to be the great resignation or the great migration of workers changing jobs because the pandemic woke a lot of people up in the form of making them confront change. So then they were like, well, this change, I kind of survived this change. Maybe I make a big change. Economists are predicting 40% of American workers will quit their jobs. Of the workers that want to switch their jobs or change fields, 50% say they're looking for higher compensation, and 34% want more growth opportunities, and 24% are tired of working on the same things. So, higher compensation, more growth opportunities. That's 84% of people that are polled. So what does that tell you? People want growth, growth, growth. Responsibility growth, challenging growth, but also growth in their income. Not surprising at all. So there you go, folks. People are moving. You better get moving. Because I think it is going to be a big, big shift, a big, big change, and we're here to help you. So if you're watching this show, you're new to the show, and you're like those 53%, you're going, Ken, I'm in that 53%, but I don't know how to get retrained. Yeah, you do. I can help you. Let's talk about how to get qualified. There are qualifying questions, 4 of them. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? How much is it going to cost me? How long is it going to take? I'll walk you through that. You're one phone call away from getting clarity. And a lot of these people who want to move will not move because they're terrified of the unknown. So I'll help you figure out what it's going to take to get qualified. So we'd love to hear from you. 844-747-2577. All right. Do we have a stinger for this, Joe? We don't? Oh, he had something ready. Okay. It's time for Tuesday Juice Day right here. In just moments, I will see what it is I'm about to taste. Nathan, are you excited about this? You seem a little excited. Are you excited about this? You have a smile on your face.
I mean, it's a good day.
It's a good... Oh, okay. Is this something that you have tried before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've tasted this.
Yeah, my wife drinks it every day.
Oh, your wife drinks it every day. All right, here we go. Without any further ado, real time, Tuesday Juice Day. Boy, I don't like the way Madison's looking at me. I got nervous all of a sudden. Okay, here we go. Wow, very, very, very tart. Oh, wow. That time it burned the throat a little bit. So this has got it's got some funky fizz on it is what I'm going to call that. It's got some funky fizz. Boy, I don't like the aftertaste. Going in, not bad. But that time I took a bigger gulp the second time, and the funky fizz got me. I will tell you, the aftertaste is not good at all. I don't like the aftertaste. Madison, you've got something to say about this? Okay, without any further ado. I think I know what this is. Am I allowed to guess what it is if I think I know what it is? Okay, we're making this up.
Yeah, what do you think it is?
I think it's kombucha.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Is that what it is? Raw kombucha. Oh, thank you, Joe. Raw kombucha is the real probiotic culture of healthy bacteria and yeast. Hey, I don't feel good about drinking liquid yeast. I know that they're boy, the team's having a blast back behind the glass. I know this is supposedly healthy for you, but I need to know more about liquid yeast. So these probiotics are as a result of fermentation process. If the kombucha is so it improves digestive function, lowers the risk of diarrhea. I'm glad everybody's excited about that. Improved mental health, boosted energy levels, and potential weight loss. So there you go. So here's what's interesting. Oh, is that it right there? Okay, so the reason that I guess kombucha, is it cam? How am I saying
Kombucha.
it? Kombucha. So my mom and dad visited about 5 or 6 months ago, and they both had glass bottles. They're sipping this stuff in the living room. I'm like, what is this, Mom? Dad, what's going on? I've never seen you sip. They got their own little, these are nice glass bottles. And my dad, Mr. Information, he's like, it's kombucha. It's unbelievable. Goes on and on and on about it. Makes me take a swig, and I had forgotten about it. But, so the kombucha, so it's good, huh? Your wife swears by it.
Yeah, it's good for you. She uses it to, she drinks her prenatal vitamins and then rinses it down with kombucha.
Rinses it? Well, I ain't rinsing anything down with kombucha. I'd have to really focus on this. Like this is, I'm going to have another sip. Wow. Yeah, it is. Whew. It's like a ginger ale that's got too much ginger. And it's boy, you really gotta, and boy, my mom and dad, it's all coming back to me now. They swear by this stuff. It's fantastic. No, it isn't. So I'm going to rank this scale of 1 to 10, 1 being awful, undrinkable, and 10 being just a delight to the palate. Just a taste only, because I understand now, I've heard good things about kombucha. Taste only, I'm giving it a 4.5. It's not enjoyable. Did you just have some of it? No, I mean, the smell alone. Oh, it's awful. It's awful. It's like sour.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. Whew, I didn't smell it. All right, there it is, folks. My time is almost up. For your entertainment and equipping you. Remember, how you get the juice? Do work you love. That creates results that matter. All the energy you'll ever need. I got to run. You matter. You do have what it takes. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.